Hello, is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Okay. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader, as said by John Quincy Adams. Wishing everyone a very exuberant evening. Today, I, Shrey Shukla, research scholar, Faculty of Commerce and Management, Rama University, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, would like to extend my warm greetings and welcomes to the dignitaries and the members for today's event. Today, we have gathered for the inauguration of 1 week faculty development program on statistical tools using SPSS. Research Foundation of India is strictly working for the social upliftment and higher education quality and Indian research promotions in the form of events like international, national conferences, seminars, workshops, symposium, and other activities. RFI works for the integration of intellectual ideas across the globe to fulfill the thirst of innovation of humanity. Research Foundation of India is concerned with improving the educational process by encouraging scholarly inquiry related to education and practical application of research results. Research Foundation of India is working for research and development for higher education. It has signed MOU with top universities from India like Symbiosis, AIT, SAIC, SKDU, Apex, Eklavya, B.R. Ambedkar Central University, Atal Bihari Hindi University, Gujarat University, and many more. RFI members are faculty, researchers, graduate students, and other distinguished professionals with rich and diverse expertise in education research. RFI does not take any financial sponsor from any government body. RFI has organized 1,000 plus international conference and workshops, FDPs, symposia, etc., all over the world. Now, RFI is having 87 chapters in India and 18 chapters in Asian and other countries, and categorized in 5 boards such as West, East, South, North, and Central Zone. Rama University, Kanpur is an educational endeavor of Rama Group. The university has been reckoned as one of the largest educational groups in northern India. With highly experienced faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, the university is running PG and UG courses in various disciplines. Rama University houses state-of-the-art central research lab, computer centers, moot court, auditoriums, banking facility, ATM, postal and telecom facility, sports, congenial hostels, medical facilities, conference rooms, gymnasium, central library, etc. The Rama Center for Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship is an initiative of the university to prepare and nurture the future entrepreneurs and startups. Proceeding further towards our today's resource person, that is Dr. Chanchala Jain. Dr. Chanchala Jain is an author, research expert, an academician with an experience of more than 11 years in management and commerce as an assistant professor. She is a co-founder of Urja Counseling and Training Indore. Presently, she is working as an assistant professor in Prestige Institute of Management and Research Indore. She is also the coordinator of IQAC at Prestige Institute of Management and Research. As a research expert and trainer, she has conducted many workshops and FDPs on SPSS module, research paper writing, and analysis through art programming. She has chaired and co-chaired various conferences. She has rich experience of more than 9 years in research, and with this, she has more than 40 research papers published in various Scopus, national, and international journals. She has also presented research papers in more than 15 conferences and won 4 Best Paper Award at JIMS Delhi, Pacific University, Udaipur, and Prestige Indore. 4 research scholars are pursuing their PhD degree under her able guidance. She has also guided more than 500 students in their major and minor research projects. As an author, she is also writing a book on crucial problem of a society along with co-author titled as Atmahatya Kyun. Now, I would like to request the resource person for today's event to please grace us with your knowledge and information. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Shreya, for introducing me on the forum. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Yes, madam.
So before proceeding with the today's session, firstly, I want to show my gratitude towards the Rama University. In association with the RFI, Rama University has organized the 7 days FDP. So thank you so much for providing me the platform to interact with the participants through this online mode. So I think, Shreya sir, I can start with the session now.
Yes, ma'am, you can
Yeah.
please proceed further.
Thank you so much. So before proceeding again, I'll say one more thing that firstly, I let you know in the all 7 days what we are going to do. On each and every days, firstly, I'll try to give you the conceptual aspect of everything as per the content probably shared with all of you that in the 7 days what I'm going to discuss. So as per the that particular schedule, on each and every day, firstly I'll discuss the conceptual aspect and then we will move towards to the SPSS to do the hands-on practice on that particular topic. So as per the thing I just told to you, today firstly I'll tell you about the something about the basics of SPSS, and then we'll move to the SPSS software and I'll show you how we can work with the SPSS. So give me a second, I'll share my screen and then we'll proceed further. Can anyone tell me my screen is visible clearly or not?
Yes, madam. Clearly visible, madam.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So usually I start each and every session with the particular quote which is given by the Aristotle. The quote is, "Tell me, I will forget. Show me, I will remember. And involve me, I'll understand." So the purpose of this FDP is that I'll try to tell you something, but I think again, whatever I'll tell, maybe you will forget. I'll show you, probably you will remember. But I expect all of you, please try to do the hands-on practice along with me so that you would be able to understand, and that way maybe you would be able to keep that thing in your memories. So now talking about the SPSS, I think you all are knowing what is SPSS. So SPSS is a short for statistical package for social sciences. Generally, it is a quantitative package which helps us to do the analysis on the quantitative data. It is not like that SPSS can only help us to do the analysis of the data using whatever is there in the SPSS, but nowadays in the latest version, because presently I think 27.0 is the latest version of the SPSS. So with that, we can also do the we can also add on the different languages like R or Python, and then along with that we can do the coding also. So SPSS usually it is introduced or it is launched in the year of 1968 by the SPSS Incorporation, but now it is the baby of IBM, and from 2009 IBM has acquired that particular SPSS, and now whatever versions of SPSS is coming, that means whenever we are going on the Google and searching something about SPSS, you would be able to see IBM SPSS Incorporation. So that way now it is the baby of SPSS. Now talking about what type of processes we can perform in SPSS. So mainly we can do the three things. We can make the changes, we can check the data, and we can do the recoding. So I'll start with the making the changes. So I'll start with this. You can see when I'm talking about making the changes in the particular data. So how we can do that. So first thing is data entry error. That means I think do I need to tell you something about research? I think most of you are already doctorate, and I think you are aware about what is research and what is the data and how we are collecting the data. So that is why I'm not going into that, and directly I'm talking about the analysis part. So when I say this thing, data entry error. So say for example, I want to conduct a study on suppose customer satisfaction towards restaurants. So for that, suppose I have kept there 20 questions in my questionnaire or in my instrument or in my scale. So here, please pay attention on the terminology which I am using: scale, instrument, or the questionnaire. So these all three things are the same. So suppose there are 20 questions in my questionnaire or in my scale, and if I have collected data through the hard copy of the questionnaire, so in that case we need to do the manual coding and we need to do the manual entry of that data. So when we are going for the manual entry of the data, so the chances of error increase when we are going for the manual entry of the data. But when we are collecting the data through the Google form, so that way the chances of error reduces. Why? Because suppose I have used the Likert scale, and on the 5-point Likert or the 7-point Likert scale, I am asking the respondent to give their responses. So that way they are giving us the responses, and the same data we can download from the Google form, and that data we can bring it to the SPSS. So the chances of error reduces. But when we are going for the manual collection of the data and we are doing the manual entry of the data in the SPSS or in the Excel, chances of error increases. So in that case, using the SPSS, we can do that analysis that what type of entry error we have made. So using the frequency distribution or using the short cases, that error we can catch or that error we can find. So say for example, we are using the 5-point Likert scale. That means from 1 to 5, we are asking the respondent to give their responses. But while doing the entry for a particular question, might be possible for a particular respondent, I have entered their 10 or suppose 8 or 9. So that error I can catch or I can find in the SPSS using the frequency distribution or using the short cases. So that with the help of that, using the frequency distribution, we can easily find the distribution of the frequency. Say for example, for response 1, means for the, suppose 1 stands for strongly disagree. So for that, how many responses I have got? For category 2, that is possibly, that is the disagree. So for disagree, how many responses I have got? So likewise, I can understand what is the frequency distribution, and say for example, as I said, the scale is the 5-point Likert scale. So the frequency distribution should come for 1 to 5 number only. But suppose the output is showing us that for suppose 8, I have made an entry for number, I have made an entry as 8 also for any particular question. So in that case also, the output of the frequency distribution will tell me that 8 is the entered by me and the frequency of 8 is suppose 1. So that way I can understand this thing that I have made a wrong entry in that particular data sheet. So that way this is known as the data entry error. Talking about the interpretation error. So interpretation error means suppose I have stated a question in the questionnaire and The way I have stated the question may be possible. The people are taking it some other way. They are interpreting that particular question in some other way. So that way, that particular response can affect your results or your analysis. So you need to understand that thing. That thing means what type of interpretation the respondents are getting from that particular question, and in what way they are giving you the responses. So generally it is suggested when we are going for a good research, when we are going for the PhD analysis, we need to generally go to the manual collection of the data, physical collection of the data. That way we can probably reduce this kind of errors. Next error is the misunderstood by the respondent. Again, maybe I have cited or I have written one question in my questionnaire and it is not properly, or it is maybe taken by some other way by the respondent. So you need to understand, again you need to be there, or you need to appoint some person which can easily communicate this thing, what is the meaning of that question and how they need to interpret it, so that they would be able to give you the proper answer of that particular question or proper response for that particular question. So these types of error, if these types of error are maybe means they can be in the part of either of the data collector or maybe in the part of the respondents. So these two errors can be that is interpretation error and the misunderstood by the respondent. These two errors we are talking in the terms of respondents, but this data entry error can be done by the data collector or by the researcher. So we need to understand these things very carefully, and that way we need to make the data entry in the Excel or in the SPSS. And if we are making any error, that error we can catch using the frequency distribution or using the short cases available. These two options are available in the SPSS. This option we will get under the analyze menu, and this option we will get under the data menu. So this way we can check whatever mistakes we have made during the data entry. Next thing coming as a process as the recoding of the data. So say for example, I have made entry in a data, or maybe I have entered a particular variable. Now I want to record that variable. So in the SPSS, this option is available, record into the same variable or record into the different variable. So in the using these two ways, we can record a particular variable available in the SPSS, and that way we can do the recoding. So how we can perform this today, I'll let you know using the SPSS. For the same, I have shared one sheet with all of you in the group, in the WhatsApp group. So I'm expecting all of you to download that. So once we will go to the SPSS, I'll let you know how we can perform the recoding on the data. Now, talking about the various types of windows available in SPSS. So if you have seen the SPSS previously, you are knowing there are two views of the SPSS window. The first view is known as the data view, and second view is known as the variable view. So the present screen or the present slide which you can see, this is showing you the data view of the SPSS window. So here you can understand what are the different aspect, or what are the different labeling of these particular parts of the SPSS data view window. The first is the pull down menu. That means this is the first bar which is known as the menu bar. And when I'll click on any of the menu, when I'll go in the SPSS, the way means I'll able to see all the options available in that particular menu. The next menu, or the next bar is known as the toolbar. So here we can see in the toolbar different icons are available. So the meaning of these icons I'll tell you when we will move to the SPSS. Now talking about these columns. So in the data view window, whatever columns we can see, these are nothing but these are the name of your variables. Means once you need to create your variables in SPSS, and then in the data view, these headings of the column is known as the variables. Now rows are designated for the cases. These are the responses we are collecting from the respondents for these different variables. Now at the lower side you can see this is known as data editor view, and in this view there are two things, data view and the variable view. Now last one is known as the status bar. So this one is known as the data view of SPSS window. Now talking about once I'll perform any of the analysis in the SPSS, the output will generate into the next window, and that window is known as the output window or the output viewer window. So this is the output viewer window, and there are two different frames, the left frame and the right frame. So once you are performing, means might be possible on the same SPSS window, we are performing more than one analysis. So all the analysis which we are performing, the details of those analysis which we are performing, that we can see at the left hand side, and their output we can see at the right hand side. Now this is known as the variable view of SPSS. So I hope you can see here, when there are two buttons. So presently, and you can see the color of the variable view window is like yellow types of color. So yellowish color is showing us that the presently variable view window is activated. So in this window, we can create our own variable, or if we are importing any data file in SPSS, so whatever variables are there in that particular window, all the variables will be available here in the variable view window of the SPSS. If suppose I have opened a blank SPSS file, in that case, what I need to do, I can create my variable, and here you can see different headings are coming. So under these headings or under these different parameters, I need to create my variable. So these are name, type, width, decimals, label, values, missing, columns, alignment, measurement, role, etc. So what is the meaning of these? I'll let you know when we will move to the SPSS, and I'll let you know how we can use these different things. Now, again, this is the data view. Means if we have created some variables in the SPSS variable view, we would be able to see those created variables as a heading of the columns in the data view, and then whatever data is available with us, that we can either manually enter, or if you want to import that data file in the SPSS, that also we can do. And that way imported data would be look like this particular screenshot. Now talking about, as I have just discussed, output viewer window. So that I have already told you, there are two sections, the left frame and the right frame. Left frame will tell you all the analysis we are performing. In that particular left frame, we will able to see all the analysis name along with all the subheads of that analysis, and in the right frame we can see all the outputs of those analysis we have asked SPSS to perform for us. Now talking about the different menus of SPSS. So I think maybe people are knowing this thing, that SPSS is the menu driven type of software. That means in that we do not need to do any coding. Maybe you have heard about our Python latest programming languages which are supporting the statistical analysis nowadays. So in those languages we need to generally do some types of codings, but here in SPSS we do not need to do anything. It is already programmed software. So we need to only go to the different menus to whatever task we want to perform. So according to those menus, we can go and we can select the appropriate options or analysis, and that we can perform in the SPSS to generate the output. So the very first menu of the SPSS is known as the file menu. So it is very similar like the Excel menu or like the Word menu. So here in that particular menu, we can open a fresh file using this file menu. We can save a file. We can go for taking the printout of that file. So the work of file menu is doing the task of opening the file, or opening a new file, or maybe the saving of a file, or maybe the printing of a file, like that. So the such kind of task we can perform using the file menu. Second menu is generally known as the edit menu in SPSS. So the work of edit menu, I think again we all are well aware about this menu. Using this menu, we can perform the cut, copy, paste type of things. We want to insert some variables, that we can do. We want to insert some cases, that also we can do. So such kind of things we can perform using the edit menu of SPSS windows. Talking about the next menu, it is the data menu. So in this data menu, It is allowing us to define the variable properties. Also, we can go for the sorting of the cases. If we want to merge the files, we want to split the file, we want to select a specific case. So that all, sorry, these all type of things we can perform using the data menu. Talking about the next menu, this is known as the transform menu. So in the transform menu, if we want to transform something which is already available in the SPSS data view, so that we can do using the transform menu. So say for example, there are four different variables available. If I want to add them, so that means I want to transform those four variables and I want to create some new variable using those four variables. So that type of things we can perform using the transform menu. Under that, there is an option available computation or compute variable option available in the transform menu. Using that, we can perform such kind of computations. Next is the analyze menu, and this is the most important menu of the SPSS because all types of analytical tools or statistical tools available under this particular menu. Either we want to do the descriptive statistics, say for example, I want to find the frequency distribution, if I want to find the measures of central tendency or measures of dispersion, measures of skewness, so that we can perform using the analyze menu. Now, if I want to perform some parametric tests like the t-test, z-test, correlation, regression, ANOVA, etc., so that again we can perform using the analyze menu. If I want to perform non-parametric tests like chi-square test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, or Mann-Whitney test, so like all the non-parametric tests are also available inside the analyze menu. So once you will click on the menu, and one box will come, and in that particular box, all the various different options available under that particular menu. Next menu is the graphs menu. From the name itself, it is very clear. If we want to perform any types of graph, like we want to perform pie chart, we want to get the output of the bar plot or the scatter plot. So like these type of different types of graphs, we can draw using the graphs menu. Then coming to the next is the utilities menu. So it allows us to list all the information related to that particular file. So if I want to get the information on the file which we are working, so for getting the information of that particular file, we can use usually the utilize menu. Then add-ons menu. So if we want to add certain package in the SPSS to work with the conjoint or classification trees or the neural networks. So these are some high-level statistical analysis. If we want to perform such kind of analysis in the SPSS, so we need to install some packages, and using the add-ons menu that we can easily do. Next one is the window menu. So in the window menu, what we can do, we can change the active window. So once you will click on the window menu, it will show you presently which particular window is active. If you want to change, if you want to switch from one window to other window, that also you can do using the window menu. Next, and the most important menu, I can say the help menu. If we are not knowing something about a particular thing or particular test, so using the help menu, we can get the understanding of that particular test, statistical test, and that way SPSS will assist you to know something about that test using the help menu. So this way, these are the basic menus available in SPSS, which will help us to work, or which these are the facilitating our work to in SPSS, and we can easily work with the SPSS. Now, before proceeding to the SPSS, I think some of the very basic things I need to tell you. Maybe you people are knowing these things, but I think being here as a facilitator for all of you for this SPSS workshop, I need to tell you the measurement scales, because this is the very important and the crucial aspect of every researches. And when I'm talking about the various kinds of parametric and non-parametric tests, we need to have some knowledge about the measurement scales, because these skills will help us out to segregate our variable, and that way we can identify which kind of variables are available with us, and that way we can decide upon that which test we need to adopt or which test we need to perform with these variables. So for the sake of that, we are introducing, I'm introducing here the measurement scales, and then we will proceed further. So when I talk about measurement scale, I think from the measurement term, it is very clear to all of us that we want to measure something, we want to quantify something, right? So when I talk about the variables, or I can say, I think in almost each of my workshop, I have given this example, or I have asked this question from the participants that if we are going in a market to buy, suppose I want to buy milk. So what would be the unit of milk which I want to buy? What I'll say to the shopkeeper?
In liter.
Liter.
Yeah, that I want a 1 liter milk or 2 liter milk, like, right? Very good. So similarly, when we talk about the variables, so say for example, if I am dealing with the, as I am from the management field, so say for example, I want to measure the satisfaction level of the respondent. So I think I cannot say this thing, that the satisfaction level of the respondent can be the 1 liter, 2 liter, or maybe it is 1 kg or 2 kg or half kg. I think it is quite ridiculous if I'm saying this thing, right? So in that case, the role of measurement scales become very important, because some of the variables we cannot measure, or there is no specific measurement scale available for them. So for measuring those kind of variables, some scales were introduced, and today I'm going to discuss these scales in this particular session. So we can broadly, I can say there are two kinds of scale: categorical scale, and second one is the, I think, categorical. I can say that this is not the appropriate term, discrete. I can say, I can divide, I can say the categorical scale or the discrete scale, and then continuous scale or metric scale. So for continuous, the other name is the quantitative scale, or other name is the numeric scale also. So that way, broadly, I can divide measurement scales into the two parts: categorical scale and the continuous scale. Then further, I can subdivide them in the nominal scale and the ordinal scale, and continuous scale can be divided into the interval scale and in the ratio scale. Now, one by one, I will discuss all the four scales, and with the help of some examples also, I'll discuss these things. Maybe that will give you the proper clarity. Talking about the very first scale, this is the basic scale in the research, named as the nominal scale. So whenever we are talking about the nominal scale, as it is a categorical scale, so whenever I am interested to identify a particular categories, in that case, I can say I'm using the nominal scale. So it is used for the identification purpose. The example I think already I have written, but I'll tell you this example. Say for example, in my questionnaire, I have asked one question, or I have maybe demographic profile data I'm collecting from the respondent initially. So maybe I'm asking about their gender. So it is quite clear, maybe it can be a male or it can be a female. But as I said, when we are working with SPSS, in SPSS, we need to try to convert these categories of the gender, that is male and female, into the number terms, because SPSS, as I said, it is generally a quantitative package or quantitative software which can deal with the numbers. So it cannot deal with the male and female. So for the sake of the analysis, I need to convert the categories male and female into the number. So suppose I have given 1 to the male category and 2 to the female category. But I think it is quite clear, there is no comparison in 1 and 2 in terms of the gender. Only one is means 1 is the identification of the male category and 2 is the identification of the female category. So in that case, I cannot say that 2 is greater than 2, 1, or 1 is less than 2, 2. So that way, nominal scale is only used for the categorization purpose or only used for the identification purpose. So this is the basic concept behind the nominal scale, that it is only used for the identification purpose. And I hope I have connected with all of you using the gender example Am I clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Now, talking about the second scale. So once we are moving from ordinal, nominal to ordinal, so we are going a step ahead. All the upcoming scales will have the characteristics or the features of their previous scale. So when I talk about the ordinal scale, it has the characteristics or the feature of the nominal scale. That is, categorization would be always there when I talk about ordinal scale. And apart from that, it has its own feature, that is rank order. That is, there would be a proper order in the categories of that particular variable which we are measuring on the ordinal scale. Say for example, here it is written the socio-economic status, or it is written as height, or it is written as age, or the blood glucose level. But I think when I talk about height, when I talk about age, when I talk about blood glucose level, that is BGL, they can be also the continuous scale variable also, because they can be measured. Suppose suppose I am visiting to my doctor, and the doctor is measuring my blood glucose level. So in that case, it will tell me some numeric value. So that way, in that case, the blood glucose level will become the either the interval scale variable, or it will be the ratio scale variable. So this is the important thing you need to understand, on what scale you are measuring. Again, age, suppose I am asking the age of any of the respondents or from any of the participants. So maybe some of you will say I am 30-year-old, or maybe I am 24-year-old, or likewise. So that way, that is a kind of number I am collecting. But when I'm measuring the age in terms of young, middle, and old, so that way it can be the part of the ordinal scale. Similarly, height and the socioeconomic status. So say for example, height, I'm asking whether you are a short-heighted people, medium-heighted people, or a tall-heighted people. So that way, I can categorize the respondent that these are the short-heighted people, these are the medium-heighted people, and these are the tall-heighted people. So this way, I have categorized the respondent. Apart from that, there is a order also: short, medium, and then tall, or tall, medium, and then short. So that way I can say proper order is also maintained by those categories, and also categorization is possible using the height on the short, medium, and tall. So that way I can say that height is the ordinal scale variable. Am I clear on the ordinal scale?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Now talking about the interval scale. So as I said, as we are proceeding from one scale to other scale, all the high level scale will have the characteristics or feature of their previous scale. So when I talk about the interval scale, so it will have the feature of the ordinal scale, that is the categorization also will be there, and also it would have the proper ranking or ordering among the various levels. So when I talk about interval scale, it will have the identification of the different categories. Also, it will have the ranking of those categories. And apart from that, it will have the equal intervals among those categories. So the best example to understand interval scale, maybe if you, I think you have also studied this particular example. It is almost cited in almost each and every book. And the example is the temperature scale. So there are various temperature scales available. The Fahrenheit scale is available, Celsius scale is available, Kelvin scale is also available. But when we talk about interval scale, so you need to only consider the Celsius scale or Fahrenheit scale. Now, say for example, I think we all are knowing that at the 0 degree Celsius, the water gets freezed, right? I think, am I right? Yes?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So that is the freezing point for the water. At that point, water gets freezed. Now, when I say, firstly, I need to tell you the equal interval. So say, for example, I say, can anyone tell me what is the difference between 10 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius? The difference is?
15 degrees.
Yes, thank you, sir. Similarly, if I'm asking what is the difference between 45 degree and the 65 degrees Celsius? So I think again the answer is same. Yes.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So that way, whatever are the different levels available on that particular temperature scale, the distance would be same among all the different categories or different levels or different points. So that is the major meaning of the interval scale. Now there is one drawback of the interval scale. The drawback is that it does not has the absolute zero, but in place of that it is having the arbitrary zero. In the Celsius scale, as I said, 0 degrees Celsius. So at 0 degrees Celsius, can I say the actual characteristics of temperature is not present there? Can I say this thing? Okay. Can anyone tell me what is the characteristics of temperature? Anyone? I think when I talk about temperature, I can say I'm feeling little cold or I'm feeling cold. Similarly, I can say nowadays summers are coming, so we can say that I'm feeling very hot or today is very hot day. Can we say these two things about the temperature, right?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So when I say this thing, so that when I'm telling you this thing that at 0 degrees Celsius, so I think when you are going in the 0 degrees Celsius temperature, what you are feeling? We are feeling cold or not?
Yes, madam.
So that means the actual characteristics of temperature is still present, and I'm saying that is 0 degrees Celsius. So now are you getting my point? At interval scale, there is a arbitrary zero, and the actual or the absolute zero is not present on the interval scale. So that means whatever we want to measure, still it is present at the 0 degree. So that way I can say this is known as the interval scale. Similarly, when we want to relate this interval scale with the management or the commerce field. So there are some examples I have written, say for example, attitude, motivation, intelligence, personality trait, etc. So suppose I want to measure the attitude of a person. So I think it is very hard to find a person with the zero attitude. Always there would be some degree of attitude available in a particular person. So I cannot say I have found a person with the zero attitude. So that means the actual characteristics which I am measuring is the attitude, and it is still present in that particular person. So generally we are using Likert scale. In Likert scale, the midpoint is generally 3, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So 3 meaning is what? You people are saying means they are not going either side. Means neither they are saying disagree, nor they are saying they are agree. Means still, maybe they are having, obviously they are having some attitude or they are having some particular opinion on that particular statement, but they are not, or they do not willingly want to say something about that particular statement. So they are going with the neutral category. So that way they are having that thing, but they do not want to reveal that. So this is known as the interval scale. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Now the last scale is the ratio scale. And the ratio scale means it has all the characteristics of its previous scale. That is the identification. Ordering would also be there. Equal intervals will always be there. And also it will having the actual or the absolute zero available. So some examples I have written here. I think it is possible. I can find a person with the 0 blood glucose level. I can find a person whose income is 0. So that way, these are some of the examples of the ratio scale. So when I want to summarize all the 4 scales, you can see here, these are the 4 scales on these 4 parameters. These 4 scales are made up of. When I talk about the nominal scale, it has only the identification. Means in all the 4 scales, identification or categorization of the categories is available. But when I talk about the magnitude or the ordering, so in remaining 3, except nominal, in the remaining 3, this ordering type of feature is available. When I talk about equal distance, it is available with the interval and the ratio scale, and the absolute zero is only available in the ratio scale. So this way I can summarize all the 4 scales. And to perform any statistical analysis, we need to have the clear-cut clarity about these scales, that on what scale we have measured our variable. That way it makes our analysis part much easier and we can easily perform our analysis. Now, these, as I have shown you in the previous slide, the toolbar in the SPSS. So these are the different icons available, and these are the different meaning. So I think
Ma'am, if I'm disrupting you, please explain me the nominal and ordinal once again, ma'am. Nominal, when do you apply the nominal and when do we apply ordinal? Please, ma'am. Just 1 second, ma'am. And if I'm disrupting you, please, ma'am.
No, it's totally fine, sir. So say for example, when I say nominal scale, so some of the example I have already shown you, sir. When you are talking about only categorization, but
according to gender, why do we use only nominal scale there, and why can't we use nominal scale for age wise and service wise and qualification wise, ma'am?
Okay.
Qualification, as we are taking in the questionnaire as a base of the questionnaire, that qualification we are taking as a base.
Understood your question, sir. Say for example, I'm taking the example of yours only. Suppose I'm asking the qualification of a person. So generally, suppose in my questionnaire I have written mark your qualification. Suppose I have given the UG, undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD. Suppose I have given these 3 options. So I think quite clear. On the basis of these 3 categories, I can say, suppose I have collected the data from the 100 people. So suppose in my data, 20 people are the undergraduate people, 75 are the postgraduate people, and only 5 are the PhD people. So I think from the qualification, you can understand the people who have done their graduation, only they can go for the post-graduation. And those who have completed their post-graduation, only they can go for the PhD. So that way ordering is possible. Means either it can be a descending order or it can be an ascending order. So here you can see, I can say qualification can be UG, then PG, and then PhD. So ordering is possible there. That means this is the order which is going in the ascending way. These are the people who have completed their UG only. These are the 20 people in my data set. 75 people has completed their PG, and only 5 people those who have completed their PhD. So that way you can understand there is ranking is possible or ordering is also possible. And that way again the first thing, as I said, in ordinal scale categorization is also possible. So I can say 20 people are there who belongs to the UG category. So 75 people are there who belongs to the PG category, and 5 people are there who belongs to the PhD category. Is it fine, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
But even though it is possible in this gender-wise also, some for example, male, female, and transgender, if and others, whatever the category, we can also categorize them, and we can also arrange them in the ascending and descending order, ma'am.
No,
in our questionnaire.
Yeah, I'll try to explain you one more time, sir. Here, when we talk about gender, right? So in gender, as I said, these are the male, these are the female. So, but I think I do not have any right to say that male are superior to female or female are superior to male. Here there is no comparison. So I cannot say these are the ascending order, these are the descending order. So in case these are the sensitive issues. So that way I cannot say male are superior, female are superior, or that way I can arrange them in the ascending or descending order. So that way we are keeping gender as the nominal scale variable. But whereas we are talking about education, it is quite clear that people, those who have completed their UG only, they can go for the PG. Similarly, those who have completed their PG, they can go for the PhD. So this is the norms which is given by the government to us. So that we can classify on the basis of, on that we can say there is a ordering possible. But in male and female, we cannot say that ordering is possible, that male comes or male are lower than female, or female are nominating to the male or something like that. That we cannot say, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Well, ma'am, can you just justify your explanation with the help of example between nominal scale and the ordinal scale, ma'am? Just one example from education and one example from gender. Can you just justify it, ma'am, please, with the help of example, ma'am? Just feel I am confusion because see, during the questionnaire, forming the questionnaire, we are using gender as a base area to just independent variable to identify the answer of the people. And again, we are using age group to find out the answer of the people. Then survey we are using as a base to find out the answer of the question. So why can't we use this? I understood that.
Last,
this
last
is
line I'm not
ordinary.
getting. Sir, will you please repeat the last line? What you're not getting? Hello.
Hello.
Will
Ma'am.
you please repeat the last line? What are you not getting?
Ma'am, we are using this age group and service and the other factors, say for example, joint family, we are using it as a basement to find out the answer. These are the independent variables, right?
Yeah.
Then independent, we can categorize the independent variable and all this, ordinal and all that, but still how practically we can use this variable in our research, that they are the ordinal and they are nominal. Practically, nominal I have understood, ma'am. But ordinary, how can we, with the help of questionnaire, ma'am? So can you share the example, ma'am, please? I'm
See-
sorry, and I'm very layman, ma'am, to ask you this question.
No, I
Can be
think the question answer are always welcome, because sometimes it is also a kind of learning for us. So
I'm
it
very
is-
lay person in this area, so I am asking you a question, ma'am.
Okay. So, sir, just a minute. Word file is visible to all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So see here, suppose I have collected my data for gender and I am asking from the people to mark your gender, male or female, right? I'll go for the analysis. I have written here 1, I have written here 2, right?
Yes.
So here
Yes.
1 and 2 are incomparable. You cannot compare 1 and 2 in case
Yes.
of gender. I cannot say, means when I talk about number, I think I know 2 is greater than 1. But when similarly, I can say 1 is less than 2. But in case of gender, there is no comparison. Only the 1 is the telling me that this is the category for the male, or this one is telling me this is the identification number, which is telling me that that particular person is a male. If I can see under the gender column, so one will tell me it is a person is a male, or gender of a person is male. Similarly, if I can see in that particular column 2 is written, so I can interpret that thing that particular person is a female. Is it clear? Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Now
Yes, yes.
talking about education. So here in education, as I said, I'm writing here to save our time, like UG, PG and PhD, right? So again,
Yes.
here, suppose I have coded my data like this, 1, 2, and 3, right? So here, when I'll see in the column of education, so 1 will tell me that this particular person has completed his undergraduation, this particular person has completed his post-graduation, and this particular person has completed his PhD also, right? So apart from that, I think it is quite clear that there is an order also. I can
Yes.
say these are the highest people, or these are the people who has the highest degree, that is the PhD. These are the people who has the second highest degree, that is the PhD, and these are the people who has the least highest degree, that is suppose UG. So that way ordering is possible, right? Now when I talk about the particular analysis, because in upcoming days we will discuss the different analysis, right? So as you said, generally we are talking about the independent.
But ma'am, I am disrupting you again. Suppose according to gender, if I ask the question to gender, do you like the ice cream? And to even qualification wise, if I ask the question, do you like the ice cream? Then how you can categorize nominal and ordinal, ma'am? Hello.
Yeah, sir. You please pay attention on the screen. I'm writing something for you.
Do you like the ice cream?
Do you like ice cream? Question is, answer can be yes, answer can be no,
Then-
right? So
Yes,
suppose
yes.
I have
If I'm asking gender wise also in the same questionnaire, and in the same questionnaire, gender age wise also, in the same questionnaire, I'm asking the questionnaire through qualification and service wise also. So then how?
Sir, hold down here. Hold down.
Yes,
Whenever we talk about analysis, generally we need to have two variables, except t-test, one sample t-test. In most of the hypothesis testing, we need to have two variables. So here, suppose you have one variable, do you like ice cream, right? So that way,
Yes.
people are saying yes or no. So suppose I have given no to 1 or no 0 to no, and suppose 1 to yes. So that way I am categorizing only that these number of people, suppose in my 100, my 100 sample size, 70 people are saying I like the ice cream and 30 are saying I do not like the ice cream. So that way I am only categorizing the respondent that these are the 30 people who are not liking the ice cream. These are the 70 people who are liking the ice cream. I think now it is, I am throwing the ball in your court. Can you tell me, can we arrange there, or can we can we maintain some type of order between these two categories?
No.
Obviously not, right? So answer we have to find by our own. We cannot maintain any of the order in between this type of question. Now you are telling me, if I have asked the question of the gender, means I want to collect the gender of the people who are responding to my questionnaire. I want to know from which age group they are belonging to. I want to know what is their education qualification. So in a particular questionnaire, you can keep each and every type of question belonging to categorical scale, that is nominal and ordinal, and also the question can be of the interval and ratio scale. Now, when further you will go for the analysis of your data, so you need to look at your objectives, that what type of objectives you have framed, and then you will decide upon what will be your hypothesis, and then according to your hypothesis, the appropriate variable you can choose here. So now what you can do, suppose, just a minute, give me one more minute. See, suppose I have written here, yes, I have written here no, right? Then I have written here, suppose, male, then I have written here female. So suppose, as I said, just a minute. See, now I need to make this kind of table, and then way I can do the any kind of analysis. This is showing me that from the male category, 20 of the respondents are saying that yes, they are liking the ice cream, and 50 of the female are saying that yes, they are liking the ice cream. But 20 males are saying that they do not like the ice cream, and 10 female are saying they do not like the ice cream. Now, are you getting my point?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Is it clear, sir? So for
Yes,
each and
ma'am.
every, yeah, so for each and every hypothesis, sir, we need to generally have two variables, and then we will check from which variable we are going to make the combination, with means which from which two variables we are going ahead with the analysis. That is depending upon your hypothesis, and hypothesis will be depend upon your objectives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome, sir. So can we proceed now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Ma'am, can you put some light on Likert scales as it is a very important part for research scholars? So, can you please?
Sir, I think generally we are using Likert scale. Say for example, this.
strongly agree.
Yeah.
You are helping me a lot, ma'am.
I'm trying my best. Even I don't know I'm helping or not, but I'm trying my best.
You are clearing basic also.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Suppose I have written one question here. Generally, whenever we are talking about Likert scale, so we do not need to ask question from the respondent. Either we want to take their opinion for the certain statement. So one mistake usually people are doing, they are imposing, or they are writing generally statement in the question form, and then they want to find the agreement or disagreement label for that. So suppose you can see I have written here, I like ice cream. So usually people like, do you like, sorry, so much Chinese language I think I have written. Now you can see here, there are two things written. First is, I like ice cream, and second is, do you like ice cream? So generally people are what they are doing for both type of things. They are putting the liquor scale. So suppose I like ice cream. So the liquor scale can be strongly agree, neither agree nor disagree, then disagree, and strongly disagree. Right. So now please read first two lines which I have selected or highlighted here, and now tell me for which of these two statements this particular options will go. Right. So this is the one mistake usually people are doing. So generally whenever we are talking about Likert scale, you need to write the things in the statement forms, and then generally whatever construct, I think these are some advanced level things which I'm talking to all of you, because this is not the part of this particular workshop. So construct means, say for example, I want to measure the satisfaction level. So as I just said, I cannot measure satisfaction level in terms of suppose in kgs or liter. So in that way, I need to understand how I can measure. Suppose I want to see the satisfaction level of the people who are having the top and down ice cream. I want to measure their satisfaction level. So what I need to do, I need to think upon what are the various things which generally people are having in their mind for having that particular top and down ice cream. So maybe one can be the brand, right? So maybe brand can draw satisfaction level inside that particular people. Maybe taste can be the other thing in terms of ice cream. Price can be the other thing, or the quality can be the other thing. Availability can be the other thing. So that way, on these particular things, you need to frame your statement, and then you need to ask. Then you need to ask strongly agree or strongly satisfied or dissatisfied, like the type of things from the respondents. Is it fine?
That is very clear. My question is just like it is very basic for Likert scale. Like I want to know Likert scale is a part of which category? You cited four categories: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio.
Usually, sir, yeah. Usually, is it only your question, no, or something else you want to add?
Ma'am, this one question, and second one question is we can draw a Likert scale on odd numbers only, something like that. Is it something like that? I heard about 5-point Likert scale and 7-point Likert scale. So cannot we make it?
It can be 5 point, 7 point, 9 point, 11 point.
Yes.
In any odd number it can be. Depending upon us that how effectively or how efficiently we can able to make the difference between these two different categories. It is up to us, because maybe it can be maybe strongly agree, moderately angry,
flexible in order, ma'am.
Yes,
it is flexible.
It is, but it would be usually in odd numbers. But depending upon us, how better way we can measure, or we can able to defend, or we can able to differentiate these two categories. Categories means strongly agree and agree. What is the difference?
There is no rigidity, but it is flexible.
It is flexible, right? So strongly agree, moderately agree, then agree, neither agree nor disagree, moderately disagree, moderately disagree, strongly disagree, like that. So it can be on the 7-point Likert scale also. Now, when you are talking about on which measurement scale we can keep this, so it is obviously it cannot be the part of nominal scale, but it can be the part of interval scale. Usually, as I just said, on the interval scale, this particular point. This is not the absolute zero. Means people are having their opinion, but they do not want to reveal it. Maybe due to some particular hesitation or something, they do not want to tell us that thing. So that way, generally, we can keep the Likert scale on the under the interval scale.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it fine, sir?
Yes.
I think who was asking the question? Is it fine?
Some of the people are having the question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I think it is almost 6:34. Can we move to the SPSS now? And can I
Yes,
show you?
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. Move on space.
yeah. Firstly, I'm deleting this and I will create, yeah.
I godly thank that you have reached to SPSS first window, ma'am.
Sorry, sir?
I godly thank you have reached on the first page of the window of the SPSS.
Yeah, actually, sir, it is important to create a base also. So I tried that and we'll see here now how we can work with SPSS. So this is the SPSS window. If you have already seen, it is very good. If not, if for the first time, if you are looking at the screen, so this is the screen. You can see at the, you can see at the left lower corner, and here you can see there are two buttons, two different buttons available. Presently, the yellow color you can see on the data view, so it is showing that presently data view is visible to us. This is the menu bar. These are the various bars available, and this is known as the toolbar. Now coming to the variable view, so when I click on the variable view, you would be able to see the next window, and this is the variable window. So here I let you know how we can create a variable in SPSS. So suppose I am creating my first variable name as gender. So you need to see here I have just typed here gender, and now I am pressing tab button from my laptop. So once I am pressing my tab button from the laptop, you can see most of the columns are filled. These are the by default setting of the SPSS. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. Now, give me a second. Now you can see, I want to tell you some more things about here about the particular variable name. Say, for example, I have written here, suppose $gender. I have typed here dollar before the name of my variable gender, and now I'm pressing tab. You can see as I have pressed tab, one error, one message coming from the SPSS. It is showing me invalid variable name. So it shows me I cannot put the $sign before the name of my variable to create variable in the SPSS. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
suppose I want to write here gender of suppose student or gender of respondent. So again, you can see I have only typed here. Now I'm pressing tab. Again, you can see one more warning coming from SPSS, and it is showing me variable name contains an illegal character. So the meaning of that, yeah, if I want to define the variable with more than one word, so what I need to do, I need to use either the underscore.
So it's the wrongness of ourselves. It's the
Yeah.
wrong name.
Yeah, so that means
That's
if you
why
are
the
using,
message box is coming.
yeah, that means you need to use the underscore sign before in between the two words, or you can use the period sign. Suppose I have written here name dot, this is the period sign of dot respondent. Now you can see I'm not getting any error. So either you can use underscore sign or you can use the period sign if you want to create the name of your variable with more than one words. Clear? So here I'm making it easier and I'm writing only gender and writing here name. Now coming to the next column. In the name column, you need to give the name for your name to your variable. In the type column, you can see by default it is numeric. So that means this particular gender variable take only numeric variable. Now you can see, just a minute, I have come on this type against this gender variable and three dots are coming. I need to click on that. It is showing me variable type. So various different types of variable available here. String, comma, dot, scientific notation, date, etc. Usually, being a statistician or being a researcher, we need to take the help of usually numeric, or sometimes it is very rare. Usually, we do not need to have take the help of a string. But if we have address kind of variable in my data set, if we have name kind of variable in my data set, in that case, we can use this string also. Or else, by default option is numeric. Usually, we need to go with that. We are not scientists or something, so we do not need to use this scientific notation, etc. Yeah, but if we are having the current, suppose income available in terms of dollar or something, in that case you can use this dollar, etc. So this is about the type of your variable. Talking about the width, it is by default it is taking only 8, but when I click on this, you can see drop down arrow, up arrow, and drop arrow. With this you can increase or decrease its size. By default it is 8, so it is okay. Meaning of this is that if it is numeric, it can take any number of values in that particular cell. But if I have a name, that is a string variable, so in that case, if I want to, suppose my name is Chanchla, if I want to enter Chanchla, and by default the width of that column, this particular cell is 8, so that means it will take only Chanchal. That is the first 8 character of my name. So in case of a string variable, there is a problem with the width. So if you are using name, or if you are taking the name as one variable in your data set, in that case you need to increase it. But there is no problem with the numbers. Now talking about decimals. So again, if you are dealing with the numerical variable, you can use with the decimal. So gender is generally not a continuous scale variable, so there is no need of the decimal. So again, you can come here and using this, you can make out as a 0. Again, for name, there is no use of this. You can bring it to the 0. Coming to the label, so this is help us to describe my variable. Whatever character I want to describe my variable, I can use a label. Even it will not restrict you. If you want to keep the gap between two words, that you can do, but in the name that you cannot do. So if suppose I have written here gender of respondent, and apart from that, anything I want to write here, suppose I have written here insurance company or something like that, that also I can enter here. So it will not give you any warning, and that way you can define whatever you want to define for your variable. And generally, I'll suggest you always use this particular label, because might be it happens that we collect the data once and we use that data 2 or 3 times for any research paper or any research study. So that way, for your future studies, I think because we all are the human being, and after a month, if we are using the same data, probably we forget that what is the meaning of that particular variable. So that way, this label or the description which we have given against that particular variable, that will help us to understand this thing. So this is suggested. Always try to write the brief about the name of your variable, so that in future you can take the reference of that. Moving to the next, that is the values. Here again, if you will not use this, it will not give you any warning. It will not hamper your analysis. Nothing it will do. But if you will define the values for the whatever labels you have taken for the gender, it will again help you for the future. Say for example, I have come here, I am clicking on these 3 buttons, and here suppose I have given 1 and the label was the suppose male. Sorry, I need to write here in the label, it is male. I can click on the add, then 2, and I am writing here female, and then adding this, and I can click on OK. So once I have defined here, so in future when I'll refer the same file, I would be able to know that 1 is male, 2 is female. Might be possible after a month I can forget this thing that 1 is male or female. So it's better define here, and that way it will say what is 1 and what is 2. Is it clear so far? Can I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now talking about the missing option. So usually in SPSS there are 2 types of missing values. One is the system defined. Second one is the user missing value. System missing value and the user missing value. So for making you understand this, I am coming to the data view, and you can see, I don't know it is quite visible to all of you or not, because some small dots are coming. Can you see here dots?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this is what, these are the system defined missing value, means this is the particular data which is not available with us. Suppose I have written here 2, then I am coming here, I have written here 1, then 2, then again 2, then 1, like this. Visible to everyone? Now, whatever number whatever times I have written here 21, 21, 1, 2, 1, 2, whatever, for each and respective name cell, you can see some periods are coming, and even in between some cells I have not entered the value, in there also I can see the period signs, right? So that way this is known as the system defined missing values. It is clear?
Yes.
Means this data is not available to me. This is the permanently absent, or it is not available to me. Now when I talk about the missing value under the variable view, so this is the user missing value. That means being a user, I am using this SPSS, so I can keep something as a missing value here. So say for example, I have clicked on these three buttons and there are three options available. The very first one is no missing values. That means by default SPSS is taking nothing as a missing value. Second is discrete missing value. So something which is available in the form of numbers that I can write here. So suppose I am going with the second option, and suppose I have written here 1. So I can give here total 3 options. As I am dealing with gender, so I know only 2 options are available, 1 and 2. So I need to have at least 1 categories with me. So suppose I have kept here 1. So that means I want to, or I am giving the message to SPSS, please do not include male category for the analysis purpose. Might be possible I have collected the data for any particular topic. Say for example, I want to see the customer perception towards different investment avenues. So in that data, I have taken the data of male and female both. So in for my first research paper, I have done the study by taking together male and female respondents. But for my future study, suppose I want to restrict my study with the female only. So in that case, I do not want to include the male categories in my data. So here I will come and I'll define here discrete missing value as 1, and I'll click on OK. So that means SPSS will understand this thing. For the analysis purpose, it has to cover, or it has to include only category 2 of the gender, that is the female category. So this is known as the user defined missing value. Next thing is the column. So the by default value of the column is the 8. Now when I'll come to the data view, I'll show you, as I said, I think you have observed also, the by default value is 8. Now I'll show you how it will change. I'll come to the data view. Suppose I'm increasing the size of my name. I have stressed in the name column. Now I'll go in the variable view and I can see its impact. So that means at a time, how many character I want to display that of that particular column or that particular cell, that I can make changes here using these columns. So it will show you at a time 17 character to me of the name column. Talking about the alignment, so I think it is same as the Excel or as the Word or Microsoft. So here different things are available, left, right and center. So up to us in which alignment I want to keep my data. Next one is the measure. So you can see by default it is coming as unknown. I can click here. It is showing me 3 things: nominal, ordinal and scale. Nominal means, as we have just discussed, ordinal also we have discussed, but coming to the scale. In SPSS, interval and the ratio are merged as a scale. So we have only 3 categories: nominal, ordinal and scale. So if we have data on interval scale or on the ratio scale, for that we need to select this scale option. And from these different symbols of these scale, we can understand nominal means categorization. So you can see this set type of Venn diagram is coming. Ordinal means categorization is also there and also ordering is there, and scale means the scale. I think everyone has seen that scale. So this is a symbol of scale when we are talking about interval or ratio scales. So this way, role would be the by default only. You do not need to touch this. So you will go with the by default option. Gender is a nominal scale variable. So I have set this as a nominal scale variable. Now coming to the data view, suppose, as I said, suppose I am writing my name. I have written Chanchla. Then you can see when I have switched from this cell to other, my name has disappeared. Why so? The reason is, you can see here in the variable view, by default it will take only 8 characters. So suppose again I'm coming and I'm writing here Chanchal. Again, it is not taking. I think, reason is what? Because it is type is numeric. So first I need to come and I need to change this type as a string. Then again I am coming and I am writing here. You can see I am trying to type here. I don't know you are able to listen that sound or not. So here, because I am using this, so I am able to hear a sound that it is not allowing me to enter the next character. So the reason is that the width of this name is 8. It will take only 8 characters. I need to increase its size. So suppose now I am coming here and I am writing here Chanchla Jet. Now you can see no error I am getting, no or nothing sound or no message I am getting from SPSS. So that way it is the thing which you need to keep in your mind. Now talking about how to import, I think so far am I clear? Can I move ahead?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you how we can import the file in SPSS. So for that, first way is that you can see the very first menu, that is file. You can click on the file menu. Either you can go to the open and then you can go to the data, or you can go to the import data and then you can go to the whatever extension file you are having, that is the Excel file you are having or the CSV file you are having. So that way you can select the appropriate option. So firstly, I'm telling you using this open. So go to the file menu, then select open and then go to the data. And when I click on this, you would be able to see the particular dialog box is coming, open data dialog box is coming. So firstly, in the login, you need to give the location of the file, means wherever your file is there. So I hope I have shared a file with all of you. I request all of you, if you are using SPSS, please download that file, and the file, possibly the file would be available in the download section. So in the login, you need to give the location download, or if you are shifting your file from some other place, from download to some other place, so you need to give that location here. Once you are giving that location would be visible to you. But my file is of the Excel format, so here in the files of type, I need to change the type of my file. I need to click on the Excel. Once I'll click on Excel, the Excel file would be visible to me. So I need to click on the key data Excels to open it, and I can click on the open. Once I click on the open, the SPSS will take some time usually, or it will, because it is showing me the processor is ready. So give it a second. In a few seconds, it will open the file.
Could you please once again share that software, madam? We couldn't download it.
Sorry, sir.
The SPSS software. Could you please share the software with us, madam, once again, so that we can download?
Sir, the software, I think I do not have that particular version. You need to go to the IBM SPSS site, and
Okay.
trial version would be available there for a month. So that trial version you need to download from the IBM site.
Get into PC, your trial version will be available.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Sir, can you share that particular link of the correct version if you are having that link?
Get into PC.
Yes,
If you are typing get into PC, then options are available, ma'am.
Okay.
And then crack version is also available on the same site, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am,
I'm
mostly
disturbing you, ma'am, a lot.
Hello, yes, sir.
I'm disturbing you in your lecture, ma'am. Please be continuing, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, can I continue, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I need to open my file. Give me a second. Yeah. So once I have clicked on that, it is showing me read Excel file. It is showing me which type of data available inside that. It is showing me the worksheet of that particular Excel. I need to click here only the OK to import that file. So once I click on OK, you would be able to see whatever was the heading of the columns, or whatever I have written as in the first column, it is taking as them variables. So you can see in the variable view, these are the 3 different variables available in that my file. T income and gender. So this is the way of importing the file in the SPSS. If I want to make any changes in that I can do here. So this way, this is the first way. Second way, you can use the open data icon. So once you will click on this, it will directly land you on this open data dialog box, and that way you can set the location and you can change this files of type, whatever file you want to open here, whatever types of file you want to open here, that extension you can set, and that way you can click on open to that particular file. So
But
these are
my query is there. My query is there. If you are importing the file in from Excel Excel to that our this SSS SPSS, then can we that file show the variables nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio analysis directly, or should we mention it?
Sir, I'm not getting. Will you please repeat it?
But if you are downloading the file from the Excel to SPSS, as you are saying, as you have stated, so should it show the directly the variables they are putting in the Excel? Can it show the that it is nominal, ordinal, then interval or ratio analysis, or should we mention?
Okay. So once whatever variables are available in any of the files, whatever it is the CSV file or it is Excel file, so according to its understanding, according to the SPSS understanding, it will set the measurement scale. So you can see for T it is taking as nominal, for income it is taking as scale, for gender it is taking as nominal. But if it is not correct, because this is SPSS, it will take according to its understanding. But suppose you are not convinced with that, you can go here and you can make changes here like that. There is no particular foundation that whatever is set by SPSS, you should go with that. According to the nature of variable, you can make changes under that particular measure option available under the variable. Fine, sir. I think this is your question, right?
Yes. Yes. Please be
Yeah. Yeah. So now I'll tell you, I think I said I'll tell you the recording also. So how we need to do the recording, I'll tell you. Under this T, you can see there are 4 categories available, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can go through the, I think we have total 30 observations available for T. So go and check, we have total 4 categories available, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now if I want to record this T variable for suppose for sake of some other analysis, I want to record this variable. So how I can do that, I'll let you know. Firstly, you need to go to the transform menu for recording this variable, and then you can click on the compute variable. Again, I'm repeating, go to the transform menu and click on the compute variable. Once I'll click on the compute variable, this compute variable dialog box will come. So here, firstly, I need to, you can see cursor is blinking under the target variable. So here I need to give the name to my new variable. So suppose I have given the name to my new variable as the T1. Now, what I need to do, just a minute. No, I need to tell, sorry, I forgot. I told you we need to do the recoding. This is not we need to done. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry. So go to the transform menu, and under this you can check 2 options are available. Record into same variables and record into different variables. So firstly, we will understand these 2 things, and then we will select the appropriate one. Record into same variables meaning is whatever is your existing variable, after doing the recoding variable, all the adjustment will be done on the same variable. That means your original variable will be vanished, and that way it will be replaced by the new variable. So this is the meaning of record into the same variables. Record into the different variables meaning is your existing variable will be there and it will not be interrupted by the SPSS. It will not be touched by the SPSS, and in place of that, the new variable will be created with the new coding. So usually suggested one is you need to always go with the record into the different variables, because in future might be possible we are taking the help of same file for some other analysis. So that way, if you are removing or if you are replacing the existing variable, in that way in future might be possible, you will understand that We have only those categories available that is shown by the SPSS to us. So it's better always create a new variable in place of replacing the existing one. So here I am clicking on the record into the different variables. Now what you need to do, as I am interested in T, I want to code the T variable here. So I am shifting the T variable using this arrow to input variable to the output variable. So once I have shifted my variable.
Can I ask you a laughing question?
Sorry, sir.
Can I ask you a laughing question?
Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am, so many icons are there. Still, we are in only on the transform only. But what about the other icons? If
Icons menu.
whatever the other headlines are there, we are not using that.
Yeah, sir. Actually, the time is not permitting us. First thing. Second thing,
Yes.
with that, with the progress of this FDP, we will explore some other things also.
Yes, yes. It is
Yeah.
a step-by-step spaces. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I am understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please.
So we have shifted our T variable from the left box to the right
Yes.
box. Now,
Please.
once I have shifted it from first box to the next box, you would be able to see the output variable window is activated now. So here it is asking me to the name. So I want to name my new variable as T1. So this is the only change I want to do here. I'm clicking on change. So you can see T is replaced, or the new variable will be created using the T, and the name of the new variable would be the T1. Now you need to click on the old and the new value. So I have clicked on that. Now here, as I have shown you, there are 4 values available, 1, 2, 3, and 4 categories available under the T. So I am coming here and I am writing old value was the 1, and the new value I want to give as the 1 only, and I am adding it to the old to new. Now I'm coming and I'm giving old value was 2, and I want to replace 2 by 1. That means I want to merge 1 and 2 into the 1 category, 3 and 4 into the second category. So I'm replacing a 2 again with the 1, and I'm adding it. Now I want to write here the old value was 3. I want to give the new value as 2, and I'm adding it. The old value was 4. I want to give the new value as 2, and I'm adding it. So I think now it's quite clear. 1 and 2 I want to merge in the category 1. 3 and 4 I want to want to merge in the category 2. And I will press here the continue, and then I can press here the OK. So the output window will give me the message that this recording has been done. You can see 1 is replaced by 1, 2 is replaced by 1, 3 is replaced by 2, and 4 is replaced by 2. Now I want to see the changes, so I can come to the file. In the original data view, I can come and I can see the new variable is created. Now you can check. The previous coding was 2. I have coded 2 as 1. 4 was coded as 2. Right? So might be possible. I have 4 different options available. I have taken the preferences of suppose respondent. Maybe the different types of teas they are having. Maybe it can be the plain tea, lemon tea, or green tea, or one more we can take as a. Which one can we take? Anyone?
Chamomile tea.
Okay. So here I am writing suppose 1 as healthy tea and adding it, and 2 as suppose unhealthy tea. Suppose this is my way of representation. You can take some other names also of the categories. I am pressing. That means previously I have different categories of tea, and I have merged them in the healthy and unhealthy labels in SPSS. So I think importing is clear. Variable starting from variable creation is clear.
Extremely good, ma'am, and thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Hello,
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks a
Ma'am,
lot.
here. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Related to research, because I am from science background and we are just we have the data like experimental, like we are getting use this software to analyze or interpret data.
Just a minute. May I know who? Sir, I think today it's a very basic day. Today I need to tell you what is the software is all about. we will do the understand the different things in the SPSS, and probably from the third or fourth day, I'll let you know what is the chi-square test, how you can perform, what is the t-test, how you can perform regression. So I think that way maybe you can connect with me.
That is the extension to SPSS.
Sorry,
That is the extension to SPSS. The further sessions are there.
yeah.
We will clear our.
So I'm not familiar with these type of.
Can work with the SPSS, because so I'll suggest you one thing.
If I manage intelligently, so can you share your number, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So, Wali sir, I'll suggest you this thing, that please be in the session, and whatever research you are carrying, whatever research you are doing, you can ask questions on regarding that, and probably that way I think you will get the help. Is it fine?
So, ma'am, it means that this software have a good role in.
Yes, because in science also you can perform analysis. Say, for example, you are from which scientific study you are doing?
In environment science, I'm just wastewater engineering.
Okay, so maybe you are having different types of wastewater type you can be having, or you can have their molecule. I don't know. I am not
Right, ma'am. We are testing COD building. We are getting data. Like,
yes.
So after that, we have to analyze and interpret. We have to, like, we are using correlation, regression,
Yes.
like this modeling type.
Yes, I think T will also help you. ANOVA will also help you. Correlation, ANOVA, every regression will also help you. So in our upcoming days, we are going to discuss all these tools. But for reaching or to reach there, we need to firstly make the base. So you need to have little patient. You need to understand these things. And once I discuss those things, you can ask me questions from that point.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hello, madam. This is Dr. Manjunath Babu. So basically,
Yes,
I'm from mechanical engineering background, madam. So I was working on my research area is on mechanical engineering. So let's just it would be useful for us if you throw some examples on mechanical engineering aspects, madam. So, like example, my area of this research is on machining of materials. Like we come across some parameters like cutting speed, feed, depth of cut, and like cutting tool, everything. So that would be helpful.
Manjunath sir, I will suggest you one thing here. As I'm not from, you can ask me these are the variables. I'll let you know what can be its measurement scale and how we.
I am exposed to this many type software when I was doing my research.
Thank you so much, sir. So I think this is all from my side for the day. If you have any.
And I appreciate your session and the explanation that you give it to us, and so many things are there you clear out of us, and thanks a lot. Ma'am, please share your number for further querying.
Yeah, I'll share, sir. I need to talk to the organizers. I'll share. Definitely, I'll share.
Yeah, Chanchala, ma'am.
So,
please.
having no more questions further, we would like to extend our thanks to Chanchala ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much.
Many questions are there.
Sorry?
It's a list of the questions.
Yeah, but we have more 6-7 days to go, so questions can be asked tomorrow also, looking into the time.
Any questions? Can
yes, definitely, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Please
you.
carry on.
Yeah. So, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time. And on behalf of Rama University and Research Foundation of India, we would like to extend our thanks to you for giving your time and valuable knowledge to everyone present over here.
Shweta Bajaj also thanks. We have to thanks to Shweta Bajaj.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am, for your presence. And tomorrow we'll be having another great session with ma'am, where we'll be proceeding further a step ahead in SPSS software, which will be helpful in your research work. So all of you can join tomorrow from 5:30 onwards. And thank you all the participants for your patient listening and learning. Together we'll grow in this journey by learning more and more.
Can we get
tomorrow?
Sorry?
Can we get the presentation, this PPT of ma'am after completion of sessions?
Presentation, that we will check with the resource person if she's comfortable sharing. Definitely you'll be informed about the same.
Hello, ma'am. We have to continue tomorrow, ma'am.
Thank you. everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, the same continue with the ma'am.
Yeah, the ma'am